Okay, so good morning, Maurice. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Good morning, Zach.
Good morning. Just wanted to start off by you introducing yourself, Maurice.
Sure. So my name is Maurice Buckley. I'm CEO and co-founder of the Hire Lab. The Hire Lab is a technology company. We supply a cloud-based online recruitment platform, predominantly to public sector organizations across Ireland and the UK.
Okay, fantastic. And just wanted to start off with really the beginning, of your journey. What sort of factors were there that that made you decide, you and Lorraine decide that you wanted to potentially pursue a sale or look for an acquirer?
Yeah, well, I guess we set up the business just under 10 years ago. And from day one, when we decided to do the crazy thing and start a new business, our primary objective was to exit. So, it was a very conscious decision that we're gonna try and make a success out of the business in order to exit the business. So we never saw it as a lifestyle business that we would have until we retired. We always, determined that we'll try and make it a success, get it to a point where it's attractive to some other organization to acquire.
Okay, great. And what was really good about the way you guys had handled your business is that you'd already kind of had started talking to acquirers and working alongside them in the process. So it was quite interesting. What made you decide to do that? And I guess from my perspective, it kind of helped for me when we got involved in the process.
Yeah, and to be honest, that was probably more by accident rather than by design, if truth be told. I guess the nature of the product that we've developed and that we sell, because it's very geared towards large organizations, and with technology these days, no technology operates in isolation, so we get to interact with many other technology companies in delivering our solution. So that then gives us exposure, and other companies see what we are doing, and that's really how we got involved with that company in day one. It was really true, working with our clients and commonality of clients for that organization. So it really just evolved from the work that we were doing. But as you said, it was really, really helpful in terms of us, getting our brand out into the market, and other organizations being aware of us and what we do and what we can deliver.
Okay, great. And then when you finally did make the decision to go to market and approach us, what fears did you have, particularly when you were going to make that decision? What were the concerns that you had?
I suppose probably the key kind of concern, I think, which probably most small companies have when they're selling the business is, is it really as good as we think it is? You probably always have that little element of doubt. So obviously you love your business, you love your product, you think it's the best thing ever. But there's always that little bit of apprehension that when somebody else looks at it, do they actually feel the same way?
Yeah.
So I guess that's really the only apprehension that I kind of had, and that, it's in a way, will I be found out type thing, and that the product really isn't as good as I think it is or as I say it is. But thankfully that isn't the case in our particular situation.
Yeah. And when you before you went to market with us, there was a pre-score form you did and a value builder form you did, and we kind of slowly came into the process, as it were, and kind of tried to prepare you really as best we could. How did you find that side of things before you decided to finally take the plunge?
We found it very useful, to be honest, because I think one of the other big challenges when you're putting a technology company on the market is, well, how much is it worth?
Yeah.
And that's the great imponderable, I guess.
Mm.
So, as you recall, we were always quite open in terms of the value, even though we had a number in our heads. And I think, valuing a technology company is probably a little bit of a black art in that, there's many different factors which you would have explained to us, that we wouldn't have been as familiar with. So I think the value builder and going through all of that process, I think helped us understand a lot better, the challenges that we would probably encounter in terms of discussing with potential acquirers, what the value might be.
Yeah, yeah. And then you made the decision to go along with us. What was it that made you choose me to represent you in the process?
Yeah, I guess, and as you've come to learn over the time that we've worked together, I mean, we've always built our business around people and around interaction with other people, even though we're a technology company. So it's always been very important to Lorraine and I that, the people that work directly in our business, the people that we partner with, even the clients that we work with, that there's a very good personal relationship, can be developed, at all levels. And I guess for us and for most people, you get a feel for when you talk to people initially and when you meet people initially as to whether, you're going to be the same type of characters. And I guess we felt that with you. We felt comfortable that you were somebody that we could work with, that would, get us an end result that we could actually have a good relationship with, over the course of that journey. And that was probably the most important thing for us.
Yeah, yeah. And sort of with that in mind, the process was very elongated and involved. I calculated we had about 82 meetings during the
Wow.
process.
Wow.
It's pretty full on, isn't it? I mean, how did you find the service overall? Once we did embark on it, and the kind of intensity of the whole process.
Yeah, well, I guess that's really interesting there now that you say around 80 plus meetings. I would never have said that number if you had asked me.
Yeah.
So it didn't feel like that.
Yeah.
I think in terms of the process, obviously from our perspective, and I think any potential seller, you want the process to be as quick and as easy as possible. But obviously that's not the reality. And I don't think, anybody, I think you're going to be really, really lucky and unique if you do this process very quickly and with minimum effort. I think for us, I think it worked well, even though it extended over a long period of time. That wasn't down to you or us. That was down to the acquirer, because I guess in a way, we have to go at the speed that they want to go.
Yeah.
And these are large organizations typically that are acquiring businesses like ours, and they have their own internal processes and approval mechanisms, committees and so on, that invariably that just takes time.
Yeah.
What I found good, I think, about our process was that on the one hand, there was a huge amount of data that we needed to provide, but that's kind of our business anyway. So that was kind of easy for us, even though it took effort to do it. But I thought what was really good, in terms of what you and your team were able to bring to it was, being able to kind of take all of that data that we'd provide and look at it purely, we'd look at it purely from a data perspective. You were able to take a completely different perspective, which certainly from my perspective, I found invaluable. You were able to look at that data and understand it from the point of view of how the potential acquirer would look at it. So whereas I would look at it from my kind of tunnel vision view in terms of, well, this is my data, this is how I've used it internally in the business, you were able to look at it completely differently and kind of deliver that back to us in terms of, well, here's now how the acquirer is going to look at that data, which, 9 times out of 10 was very different to how we would look at it.
Yeah. And I guess from my perspective, being a boutique type of organization, as opposed to, say, a larger corporate, what we try and do is we try and offer a very personalized service. So, I mean, for example, part of that is, being able to deal with things very, very quickly. And we had a WhatsApp group together. We try to deal with things as they're happening so that it keeps momentum in the process. How did you find that side of things? The communication, the kind of the speed of action, the kind of continuity of the whole process, and us being available to you.
Yeah, all very good. As you mentioned, we had the WhatsApp group. We exchanged over email. We had regular WebEx, Zoom type meetings. Whenever a request came in, you were on top of it with us. So no issue whatsoever. And I think coming back to the boutique and the small, that works for us, because we're a small organization, and it's, as we all know, it's there's less obstacles in your way when you're a part of a small team and a small organization. So certainly for small organizations who are looking to exit, for me, a boutique partner is the ideal, rather than one of the large corporates.
Okay, and just finally as well, that once the process was kind of, I guess, tied up in terms of agreeing things and moving forward, of course there's all the post sales issues that are kind of ongoing and probably will continue. And again, we pride ourselves in not just sort of palming things off and moving on, but being available to make sure that everything continues, because it's a continuation of the process, isn't it? That's how I see it anyway. I mean, comment on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Because when you sign the legal agreement, that's really just the beginning of the next phase, right? And again, in any business, but certainly in technology, there's a whole transition period, because it's not just a case of now you've signed the legal agreement to sell your product to your company. You now have to transition all of that over to the new team, and that invariably, can be 6, 9, 12 months timeline, depending on the nature of the technology. So it's really, really important that there's ongoing engagement after that, which we have with you, and as you know, we're looking at maybe extending the opportunity that we have achieved thus far, which is great.
Yeah. Okay, and finally, just from your personal perspective, Maurice, what would you say to recommend me to people that are looking to, start this journey from where you were at the start of this? What would you say to recommend me?
I guess I would say a number of things. So first and foremost for me, and I speak for Lorraine as well when I say this, is the personal relationship. So we found you very easy to deal with, and at times, when certainly for me, being a very technical focused person, maybe if I was pushing in one direction, when you felt it was the wrong direction to be going in, you were very subtle in terms of bringing me around, but generally very successful in doing that. But you did it in a really nice way, So I think that kind of personal relationship that you've developed with us, I think is a huge positive, and it's not just dealing with the paperwork, you know, and the kind of black and white of stuff. It's that personal relationship. I guess the other thing is that extends also to your relationship with the potential acquirer, in that you're applying the same kind of characteristics and personality, which helps to bring them forward as well. I guess another key thing for us was value for money, you know, which is important, you know, and I you can speak to this yourself, obviously, but I guess as a boutique organization, you can offer better value, you know, to small organizations like ours, you know, compared to, you know, going to a high street kind of, you know, big name in terms of doing this. You know, it's much more affordable and value for money.
Right. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much, Maurice.
You're welcome. Thank you.